when you talk about being exiled and the 3 months that you spent in Cancun, what did that look like for you? Because I know vacations are great, you know, you're taking a week to kind of rest and relax, but what happens during the rest of that time, the other 8 weeks?
There was no rest and relax
Yeah,
at
yeah.
all. I got there. I never stayed. If you've ever been to Cancun, I did not stay in the hotel zone at all. I
Mhm.
was in the city.
Okay.
The first Airbnb I had, I was there for 1 week. And that week was really hard. Like God was like emotionally stripping me
Mm-hmm.
of so many things. Like my own thoughts of myself, feeling like I had failed. I mean, there were just so many things that like God was stripping me of. The rest of that time, it was crazy. It was like I'd get up, I'd work on work things, but somehow God always took over my day. And it would be like having these conversations with him that I had been avoiding having.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Conversations like I had healed from all this childhood trauma and gone to therapy and done all of this and all of that, but like talking to him about it, I had not done.
Okay. Yeah.
I had not talked to him directly about my pain or my hurt or my trauma or my trials. I had just been doing the work clinically, you
Right.
know, and it was
Check
like,
the
okay,
boxes.
yeah, I'm checking the boxes. I'm doing CBT. My therapist told me to do this. Okay, I'm doing that. You want me to make a list? Okay, I make a list. Okay, you want me to da da da. Okay, you want me to pray about it? Sure, I'll pray. I'm praying. Lord, thank you for just setting me free from all this stuff. Like, never in my life had I actually stopped and said, let me talk to you, Lord, about how this hurts me or how it has hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Or let me talk to you about my own feelings of inadequacy. Let me talk to you about how I've traveled the world preaching, but gone home depressed. Let me talk to you about how, how I feel like you've forgotten about me.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just real conversations. Like I was having those real, I was about to cry right now. I was having those real conversations every single day. Like God, sometimes I feel like you don't hear me. Sometimes I feel like you're using me to minister to other people and to pour into other people and to work with these clients and help them and do this and do that. But like, what about me? And he just kept reminding me that like I haven't forgotten about you, but like you can't be bitter and resentful toward me.
Yeah. And, you know, earlier this week, and this sermon was a while ago, I was listening to Joel Osteen, and he was talking about um, the dog and the elephant. And they're both pregnant. And the dog goes, I'm pregnant. And a few months later, look at all these puppies, because they give birth to so many puppies, and the elephants take 2 years. And the dog says, are you sure you're pregnant? I don't think so. And years go by, the dog's pregnant multiple times. He's coming up with this gang of puppies behind him, like, here's me and my family, all these little puppies. And the elephant has nothing to show for it. Eventually gives birth to a baby elephant. And the point there was that, you know, love animals. So I'm not saying anything against dogs, but dogs are common. Elephants are not common. There's something like it's you gave birth to something unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And so people don't go off in exile, right? And then come back and make $3 million in 15 months. What you did was unusual. And I think that you're right. It's sometimes so easy for us to forget. And I've been there too. Like I've worked with executives. I've helped so many people, and I've been in places where I'm like, yo, what about like literally
What about
what,
me?
hello?
I,
Or people are like, oh, you made such a difference, I'm so happy. And this would be while I'm trying to just have a happy face or put on a positive face while I'm going through an emotionally abusive relationship. Or I've had difficult financial times, never had a real financial struggle, but I've had concerns and have been like, what about me? I'm helping all these people make lots of money. What about me? And I think that it's important for anyone listening during those periods of time, maybe what you're doing is unusual. Maybe the blessing and what you're going to receive is unusual. So don't, you know, don't discount that. Or even going back to the story of Joseph. Like his brothers threw him in a ditch, only got him out to like go sell him into slavery.
Right.
And look at his story, and the thing that they always say, and they kept saying it, like, I don't know if there's other stories that say it more, but they kept saying, and God was with Joseph. And God, and it's like, whoa, like even in those moments, you're not alone.
Yeah, totally not alone. It's weird. Like being in exile is very lonely. Mm-hmm. You do feel very alone, but there's something about remembering like God's plan and God's purpose is so big. Like we quote exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, that God is literally playing 20-dimensional chess with your life.
Yes.
And sometimes we get really frustrated because it's like, well, how come I'm not in that position?
Your queen, you talk about chess, your queen got taken off the board.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, how come I'm not in that position? And it's like, sometimes, and it's, people hate to hear this, but it's the truth. God gave me this revelation. Like, it is arrogant of us to think that because this person is in this position, God is just going to boot them out the way for you. God has to prepare a place for them too.
Right.
So if you're working in a full-time job and you're wondering why you're not the vice president of marketing, God has to make a plan for the vice president of marketing too. You're not the only one.
Hello.
You're not his only child. You're not the only person he has to prepare a table for. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I realized that it was arrogant of me to feel like I've been helping everybody. Where is my recompense? And God is like, I got to move all the key players in place to give it to you. The Bible says the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. I got to get these wicked people in the right place so they can lay up this wealth for you, you know? Yeah. And I think that's the thing is like we lose sight of that. We lose sight of the fact that God is literally playing 20-dimensional chess with our lives, and that like his timing is not just for you. Yeah. He has other kids too.
Right.